Episode 17, week 17 usage from the 20th of April to the 26th of April. The setup's in the description below, and if you've got any questions, please add it to the comment section below. The mileage is now up to 3,719 miles on the car, which is 72 miles for the week and 1,858 miles since the start of the 2020 logs. The generation meter is now reading 30,063 kilowatt hours, so that's over 30 megawatt hours we've had now since the start, since 2012 when the solar went in. We've had 151 kilowatt hours for the week, and that's now 1,074 kilowatt hours since the start of the 2020 logs. Again, the Eddi's not moved much on its readings, so we've had 11 kilowatt hours for the month and 88 kilowatt hours for the year, and that's just when the battery's full and we would have been exporting energy, but because we've been boosting the hot water and heating it direct from the battery, these numbers haven't gone up much. And the reason why I've done that is it's not switching very well once the battery's full. The import reading on the smart meter is now 7,818 kilowatt hours, which is giving us 129 kilowatt hours for the week and 5,227 kilowatt hours since the start of the 2020 logs. The Tesla data says that we pulled 130 kilowatt hours, so there was 1 kilowatt hour difference between the generation meter and the Tesla data, but the rest of the Tesla data is 270 kilowatt hours of home usage, 144 kilowatt hours of solar, 75.1 kilowatt hours from the powerwall, a grid usage of 130 kilowatt hours, and an export of 7.2 kilowatt hours for the week. Moving on to the dailies, on Monday we pulled 44 kilowatt hours from the grid with 1.1 going back, 19.3 kilowatt hours from the powerwall, 24.5 kilowatt hours of solar, and the home usage was 70.2 kilowatt hours. And the main reason for this was because the prices were negative on Octopus Agile, so we basically charged the battery as much as possible and also put the central heating boiler on to heat the water and things like that, just to use the energy when it was free. On Tuesday the 21st of April we pulled 55.5 kilowatt hours from the grid with 3.9 going back. We got 4.7 kilowatt hours from the powerwall. Again, solar was up in the high 24s, so 24.6 kilowatt hours, and the home usage was 70.8 kilowatt hours. And the reason for this again is because the Octopus Agile tariffs were in the negative again, so we did exactly the same as yesterday. On Wednesday the 22nd of April we had a grid pull of 16.7 kilowatt hours. We put 1.7 kilowatt hours back into the grid. We got 8 kilowatt hours out of the Powerwall. We're in the 23s for the solar at 23.2 kilowatt hours, and we had a home usage of 37.4 kilowatt hours. And again, the prices were negative again, so we fully charged the car, fully charged the Powerwall, and heated the hot water. We really are running out of space where we can actually put this free energy now from Octopus. On Thursday, we only pulled 0.2 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.2 going back, so things are looking a little bit more normal now. We got 11.2 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, 17.3 kilowatt hours from the solar, so the Octopus Agile tariff never went negative, and at the same time the solar contribution was lower, and we had a home usage of 20.7 kilowatt hours. And because there was no negative prices on Octopus Agile, the usage looks a lot more normal now. We're just doing what we have to do. On Friday the 24th of April we pulled 0.1 from the grid and 0.1 went back to the grid, so again normal pricing from Octopus Agile, so we didn't pull hardly anything from the grid. We got 7.9 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, We had a solar contribution of 18.2 kilowatts and a home usage of 19.2 kilowatts. So by the end of the day, the Powerwall was at a lesser state of charge than what it was the day before. We're completely self-sufficient again. So again, the data shows that things are looking very normal usage. On Saturday, the 25th of April, we only had 0.2 kilowatt hours pulled from the grid and 0.2 going back. We had 11.4 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, so that's quite high. But we had a 23.5 kilowatt hour contribution from the solar and a home usage of 23.5 kilowatt hours. So the Powerwall was slightly lower state of charge than the day before. That's mainly just through the inefficiencies of the Powerwall of about 10%. And the home usage pattern was pretty normal again. On Sunday the 26th, we had a pull of 14.2 kilowatt hours from the grid with 0.1 going back. We got 12.7 kilowatt hours from the Powerwall, and that was mainly because the solar contribution was a lot lower at 13.1 kilowatt hours, and we had a home usage of 20.7 kilowatt hours. And on Sunday we actually grid charged the Powerwall in the late afternoon, where the prices were a lot cheaper than what they had been all day, just before the peak period, just to make sure we had plenty in the Powerwall. So we had 3 days in total this week where the Octopus Agile tariff were in negative prices, which put the grid pull very high altogether. But just a little, we pulled 5.7 kilowatt hours of gas for the week, with a cost of £1.39. That's a delayed week, and a total cost for the 2020 logs of 22.67 pence. £22.67 for the cost of gas since the start of the 2020 logs. Thanks again for taking an interest in the video logs, and if you've got any questions, please add it to the comments section below.